Welcome to part 2 of my Mix It Up tutorial video series with your lovely host, Bane. As per the request of Crystal Geology, this video is going to be all about shoutouts. So I'll be talking about how to create a generic shoutout command, how to set up automatic shoutouts for specific users, and how to create a self shoutout channel point redeem. So the first thing I'm going to start with is going over how to create a shoutout command in Mix It Up bot. If you already have a separate bot that handles your shoutouts, you can feel free to skip this part, but I recommend you stick around because this is a great introduction into the command creator / editor, which is the main building block of Mix It Up. The more you know about this editor, the more you can do not only with chat commands, but also channel point redeems, bit redeems, and so on. So we're going to start by clicking on the 3 lines on the top left. We want to go down to the commands section, and this commands section is going to handle all of our chat commands. So that's something like !SO, !lurk, things to that nature. I already have a shoutout command created. So what I'm going to do is show you what mine looks like, show you how it works, and then go through a step-by-step process of how to create your own. So on my shoutout command, I'm going to click the edit command button, and it brings up this screen. This is the main building block that I mentioned earlier. All of your special events, channel point redeems are going to look a lot like this. So I have it titled as shoutout. The chat trigger is SO. I have the auto include toggle activated. That means that anything I type in here won't accidentally get activated. If somebody said the word so or started their message with so, it would need to include the ! To actually be activated. And this big square at the bottom here is our action section, where we can add specific reactions to the trigger. Right now, it's real simple. We just have one chat message. It's go check out so-and-so at their URL. They stream awesome stuff like this is their last game. So if we look at the bottom here, there's a few buttons. I want to focus on the save icon and the test command icon. These are great because you can, at the same time, add new actions to your command and test it in real time to see what it looks like. If you need to tweak the timing or the verbiage, you don't have to save and edit and save and edit, save and edit, and so on. So just to recap, the name is shoutout, the trigger is !SO, and when that happens, whoever's username is added in the shoutout will receive this message. If I click on the test command button, it's going to pull up another screen that asks if I want to add any specific details. With this test, I could shout out myself or shout out any other user. I don't want to mess with this right now. It's going to automatically default to my username. So I'm just going to click test command. And then as you can see in my chat box, it has sent go check out Bane Meets World. It added my URL and the last game that I streamed. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Let's go ahead and make one for ourselves. So to create our own, we're going to start by clicking on the new command button at the bottom of Mix It Up bot, and it brings up a fresh command editor for us. So we can name our shoutout command shoutout. The chat trigger is going to be SO. We keep the auto include activated. And you can see that our action section is completely blank. So we want to go down to the action drop-down menu, and it pulls up a whole bunch of options for us. Luckily, what we want is at the very top, which is a chat message. Select a chat message, hit the plus sign to add it, and here we go. We can start creating our own message. So for the shout out, we probably want something like go check out And then we're going to add in our first keyword, which is going to be target user name. Go check out target user name and then we're going to put in their URL. So target user URL, comma, they stream cool stuff like $, target user stream game. As I mentioned earlier, these keywords are going to replace themselves with whatever their last game was, what their URL is, and so on. So now, with that created, we can go down to our test command button, click it, test command. So, as you can see, it added our chat message down here. Go check out Bane Meets World at my URL. They stream cool stuff like something strange. There you have it. But another important detail to be mindful of is who can use this command. If we look over here, we see usage requirements. We can click on this icon with the key, and it's set to streaming platforms all. We don't have to touch that. You can switch it to specifically YouTube or Twitch or whatever you want to do, but right now all is fine, and the role is set to user, which means right now anybody with a Twitch account can use this command. We don't want that. So we're going to change this to moderator. That means that the only people that can use this command are moderators and the owner of the streaming account, streamer. So we click that, and click away, we're good to go. We already tested the command, so we can feel free to save this, and we're all set. So now that we have a shoutout command created, we can go ahead and set up automatic shoutouts for specific users. Where we want to go to set that up is back to our 3 bars and down to users. Users is a cool section that will show you all of the details of any users that have viewed your stream, how long they've watched for, if they follow, if they're subscribed, and so on. You can also search for specific users. So let's search for myself. And there I am. I have watched myself for the most amount of time. I'm in first place. How about that? But once you find the user that you're looking for, go over to the Actions section and click on Edit. Now this brings up a new screen. And scroll down to user-only chat commands. So we could give a specific user commands that only they can use. Right now, we want to focus on the options section where it says custom entrance command. This means that anytime you're streaming and this user chats for the first time, it's going to automatically trigger whatever command we make here. So since we have an automatic trigger whenever they make an entrance, we don't have any options to create a trigger like we did with the shout out, but everything else is going to be the same. It's just one big action section. And again, it's completely empty. What we want to do here is click on action, go to our chat message, hit the plus sign to add it, and then we can do !SO, which is going to trigger our shout out command. We can type in this person's username. There we have it. Our chat message is all set. We can click on the test command button to show how it looks like in chat. Test the command. And you can see that it did 2 things. It used the shout out command that we set up to shout out myself. And then that kicked off the command that sent that other chat message that we set up earlier. So we can go ahead and save that. We're good to go. And again, in the custom entrance command section, that just means that when they make an entrance, it requires them to chat at least once. It automatically kicks off the command that we created, which kicks off the shout out command that we created earlier. pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Let's do that again, just for repetition. This time, I'm going to make a new custom entrance command for Cole. I searched for Cole, found their username here. We're going to edit the actions section, pulls up this screen. We go down to options, we find custom entrance command, and we add a command. This part should seem familiar now. Our empty action section needs something in it, so we're going to find the chat message action, click the plus sign to add it. We want the chat message to be SO at Cole still. There we have it. We don't want to save it yet in case we made a mistake, so we can test it. And there we have it. It did the SO command for Cole still, and then it gave him a shout out. There you go. And what's great about this is that you can pick and choose which users have their own command. And you can add even more detailed commands like sounds, special chats, videos, things like that. For example, I'm looking at Crystal Geology's custom entrance command. Down to options, click on the edit button, and wow, look at that. It's a lot more stuff. Now, I'm not going to get into detailed things like the wait command, or wait action rather, or the sound action quite yet, but as you can tell, there's a lot more we can do with this, this command editor. So that's how to set up automatic shoutouts for specific users in your stream. And the last thing I want to talk about is how to create a self shoutout channel point redeem. So we're going to go back to our 3 bars on the top left. We're going to go all the way down to Twitch channel points. And here you can tell I have a lot made, but this is going to allow us to create reactions to people spending channel points in our stream. And you can start this 2 different ways. You can either create a new channel point reward in Mix It Up bot, or you can go into Twitch, create a new channel point redeem, and then use the add command to existing reward. Since we're starting from scratch, I'm going to click on create new channel point reward, and I will call it Shouty. Click OK. Channel point reward successfully created. Okay. I didn't group it, so it's going to show up in my ungroup section. I'm going to close these to make it look a little bit better. Here's my Shouty channel point redeem. I'll click on edit command. Look at that. This should really look familiar now. We have an action section where we can start adding actions that trigger when somebody redeems this channel point reward. So just like we did with the shout out and the automatic shout out command, we're going to go into our actions, click on chat message, click the add button, and now we can have Mix It Up bot type in !SO to kick off that shout out. And this time we're going to use $user display name. Now this keyword is going to replace itself with whoever caused this command to activate. So in this example, if I redeemed the self shoutout channel point redeem, then it counts as me activating the command. It would put my name right here. So just like before, we have our chat message set up. We don't really need to add anything else to this since we already set up our shoutout command. We can simply hit the test command button. And this is testing somebody using the channel point redeem. There we have it again. It shouted out myself and then added our text from our shoutout command. Next time you go into Twitch, if you use the create new channel point reward, you'll see this channel point reward in your creator dashboard. You can add a specific channel point cost and whatnot. This is going to activate whenever Twitch says that somebody spent channel points. So there you have it. A little bit complicated, but like I said, it's a great introduction into the command creator / editor. And a good way to start out your Mix It Up bot creations. We're going to get a little bit more complicated later on, where we can start adding videos and sounds to other commands and get a little fun down the line. But as always, this video is going to be posted in my Discord server in the Behind the Stream channel. If you have any questions, you want me to repeat anything, or have any requests like Crystal Geology did, feel free to post in my Discord and I will help out the best I can.